So I'm in the backyard getting ready to finish up my garden project. And, I'm still a little bit under the weather. So I thought that I would sleep in today. But as you can hear, the solar install project is very noisy. So I'm going to be, padding around in my garden and listening to the dulcet tones of the solar install. Mr. Hubbell, it's day 2 of the solar install. And tell us why we are engaging in this endeavor and how you think it's going to benefit us.
Well, that is a good question. It took us about 5 years to get to this point. We have had, over the last 5 years, 4 proposals from solar companies. And the first 3, we went through all sorts of work, and they took satellite imagery of our roof and did all sorts of calculations, and then came back to us and said, no, it's not going to work. We live in a home that started out as a very small ranch style home in the San Fernando Valley and has been added on to about 5 times in little different chunks. And so the roof line is completely irregular. There's no really long or large southern exposure to the roof. And so this most recent company, Solar Power One, came by, knocked on our door, and I said, don't bother. We've been through this before. And he said, no, let us try. We have more efficient panels now. So he did the calculations. I basically said, I don't believe you. And he said, well, this is how many panels. This is 100% coverage. You'll produce as much electricity as you consume, plus a little bit more. And they drew it up. They did the engineering. They submitted to the city. The city said, yep, this number of panels will produce 100% of your power plus some additional. And the benefit is that we're putting an equivalent amount of energy back into the grid that we take out of the grid. And so it's effectively a wash in terms of our power consumption. So that process took about 6 months from the first contact to where we are today. Very complicated. So now they're installing it, and it started to rain cats and dogs. So they had to interrupt, but things are going okay, I would say.
What is the financial benefit to us?
So what we've done is we've amortized the cost of the panels over 20 years. So that's a fixed number. Doesn't go up, doesn't go down. Over that 20-year period, we effectively have zero cost to our electricity because we're putting electricity into the grid at the same rate that we're taking it out of the grid. So as electricity costs go up each year, and in LA it can go up, depending on what the rate commission says, it can go up to as much as 8% a year. So as power costs go up over the next 20 years, our electrical just stays flat. Winter months, summer months, no spikes, nothing for inflation, nothing for rate increases.
Is it true that in the past 5 years you have received a fruit basket from the DWP? And does this mean, getting the solar panels mean that you will no longer be receiving fruit baskets?
Well, so that's a joke that I put in our Christmas newsletter. We were mocking ourselves for the number of Christmas lights that we put up. And one year we were late putting them up, and so I said that the LADWP had sent us a fruit basket asking if everything was okay and if we could please put up our Christmas lights because they needed a little bit of revenue enhancement. For reasons that are very difficult to understand, our electrical consumption is higher, I think, than most homes of equivalent size, but in part it's because we built a fully legal ADU for Jill's mother 20 years ago, and she lived with us for 10 years and has passed away. So we have a legal second residence on our, I was going to say property, on our lot.
Yeah.
It sounds much more, it's, we live in a lot in the San Fernando Valley, but that guest house now gets use almost every day from our kids and grandkids. They're over studying, we're babysitting over there. So we kind of have running two households, and it's a little bit difficult sometimes to manage the electrical consumption in both places.
But also because Jill never turns the lights off.
Jill likes to have a house that is light and airy.
Yes, exactly. And Robert indulges me. So thank you for the solar panels.
You're welcome.
Okay. Here's what the panels look like. And apparently, half of them are already up.
There are the brackets for the solar panels. And it's raining.